All right. This, pause this, close this right. All right. We're back. We're working on something different. Oh, I have this we can close. Popping back in, bonus stream for the day. We are working on something totally different, not CircuitPython like normal. We are still in Python land, but now we are using Python with a library called Flask, which makes web servers, like HTTP server, kind of like what we were working on with CircuitPython earlier. How's it going, Johnny? Flask makes HTTP servers. Specifically, this HTTP server that I'm working on, its job is to try to assist in writing the newsletter, a newsletter for a particular online tech blog. So this is like what a final newsletter might look like. We are trying to have a page like this with a bunch of inputs. You put all the stuff that equals out to... should have copied that, huh? Oh, I need a link. Okay, the first thing, here's the first thing we're going to work on right now is a link that takes you to the preview page. Been busy designing breakout boards. Nice, for I2S audio chips. Doing Flask. Never seen how that code looks. It's nice. I like it. It's like a minimal Django. You kind of declare your views in a similar way as Django, but you don't have the URLs file, and it's just quick and easy stuff. So like this, an example of one of the handler functions. You just give it the path you want to do, define your function there. It's going to return some kind of response. In our case, in this one, it's returning HTTP response that it's going to render from HTML. Haven't seen Django either. Fair enough. Then that will not. Then the comparison will not help certainly, but you'll get a sense of it as we play with it here. That's the goal. We're adding the link. That's the first place I'm starting because that's the first thing I noticed. I have a couple of different things to work on. We'll kind of just blast through them in the order that they come out of my brain, honestly. The link to the preview thing, we want it to be on the form page, and we want it to be next to these buttons. These things are sticky so that when you scroll down, they stay visible. So we have like a panel that does that. We are going to put on the panel a new thing, which is a link. It's going to go to the current preview page, which is just /preview. Looks like similar to C#. Nice. Oh, well, we need like maybe a word preview in there. We could... There we go. We could make it... I want it below the buttons, probably. So... It's simplistic, but we'll just drop a break in there. Maybe we should make it a button, honestly. That way it's like big and same as the buttons. I don't know. Let's make it a button. Well, we can make it look like a button by just going class button. Let's do, what did we do before? Primary and info. Let's do, oh, I think there's link, right? Is link? I think that's a thing. Nice. Yeah, okay. It's nice blue. I do have dark mode thingy, this one, dark reader turned on, so like the page by itself is white, but we're going to keep it this way because I prefer it on my eyes. So preview, we do want some space, right? There's like no margin. Let's fix that. Honestly, we could do like all buttons, right? Can I just say like all buttons? Button can have like margin. How big is that? Oh, that's pretty big. I don't know if we need to go that big. We not be using rems. I feel like maybe we're gonna get messed up by that somehow. in case they go down there, which is not too bad. Whoops. Probably this will be used in like wide mode like this. Preview goes to preview, perfect. Middle click it to go to a new one. Okay, so the tool here is, the idea is you fill in all these form inputs here, you click build, it basically saves your form inputs into this JSON data file, and then preview, the page here, grabs the latest JSON data file and drops all the data into the template, renders it into HTML. The download button will download the page when you're ready. We need to do what? We need to work on, I think, the paragraph image. I think the paragraph image is not where we want. I'm going to take this test data from here. There's also a kind of like secret built-in thing. If you press the tilde key, it gives you this page. You can paste your JSON, you can click import, and it will load up all of these things for you, which is nice. Nice. Huh, nice. All right, so that loads for us. That's kind of like the cheater mode for loading faster. That's also a way to go back to an old version, because each time you save, it's going to save one of these files here. You can grab the contents of these files here and paste it into that thing to like reload back to that version. Eventually, maybe we'll make a history page. I'm going to build like this. We don't have any kind of like success or anything. Yeah, let's do that. I think we can make the button be loading, maybe. The CSS in this is made with this thing. The old Bulma. It's like slimmed down kind of bootstrap type thing. It has some of the same kind of things as Bootstrap as far as the columns and the elements and things. But it's CSS only, it doesn't have any JavaScript. Loading. Has some examples with JavaScript though. What is that? Just is loading. Nice, okay, that's pretty easy. Lots of stuff works by just adding classes. So let's say when you click that button, we're gonna go add, wow, we have so many things open. Let's close this. Let's close all of those. Let's just say when you click that, we're gonna swap it over. Where's our click listener on that thing? So you have import click. So the import click does something though, right? It fills all the things and it closes the modal, so it's a little bit more clear that something happened. Oh, you know what? I called the button. It's not called... I have too many of these. I think it's... I have them backwards now. I think it's called preview button, but it's... Yeah. Preview button, but it's actually doing building. Preview. Actually want to go, hey, no, go to this. Go to the declaration. Now we want to change it to be, this one is actually build. We now actually, ironically, we do now have a button that looks like a button that says preview as well, which is actually a link, but it looks like a button. Now this should be build button. Okay, so when we click the build button, we want to give it the isLoading class. Oh, this didn't change down here. What? Why not? Build. First thing we do is, I mean, we can probably use this or something, I guess. Is that better? Add class is loading. And then when this gets finished, we want to turn it back off, basically. So we probably have an error handler, maybe. I don't know, how do you do that? Is that just error? I don't know what that will actually do. Either it went really, really fast, or it didn't actually work. One of those two things happened. Seems like it didn't work. Should be making a post request. Build button. Built button. Build. That'll do it. Ah, there we go. Goes to loading. Did it finish? Never went back. Posted to preview. Yeah, it finished. Success. Was message. Can we... Is there like... Oh, it's not... probably would not be this anymore inside of here, I guess. Now this is probably the Ajax thing or something. The request or response or... I don't know, but it's probably not the button. We could probably turn off these extra prints. What is this coming from? Build, probably, inside of here. Uncaught 2JSON is not... Okay. How do we get... jQuery Ajax get JSON response? Data. Parse JSON. From data. jQuery. Interesting. I mean, this is like success response, I suppose. Fine. Parse JSON from jQuery. Parse JSON. I don't think it actually has anything in it. Character. Parse success. Hmm. I was just getting object. Maybe it was already parsing my object? Yes. Already parsing my object. So what if I say stringify response? Maybe it's already into an object. Oh, okay, there we go. We already had an object, so we could access the individual keys. In this case, it only has that anyway. Okay. It's very quick. Might be nice to have, like, some other kind of output that tells you, like, successful, maybe, when it's done. That way, if you're not happen to be watching it, you know that not only that it's done, but also that it succeeded. So put that above the buttons, I think. Span ID output, output, results output. Text. So if we were successful, I mean, technically, I suppose we could check we know it was successful, though. We know it had a successful status code just by virtue of the fact that we're inside this function, but we could do this. We could set this. Maybe do, like, is success. That might turn it green. Nope. Text color has text. So that would be like has text. And if we had an error, we could make it red. You can't tell too well, honestly, because of the background, but it is green. A little easier to tell on white. I do want it to be above, though, I think. Like, could make it a P. If it's a P, I think it will be by its own, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I don't know if we have really any errors. I should fill in the error thing while I'm here, though. If we got an error, so the way I tend to do errors would be like success would be false, and then there would also be a field called error, which would have the string. So we would say something like error if this object works the same way. And then we'll do remove on that, and we will add danger, which is red, and then this is mad because I've duplicated this a bunch, so I guess let's make a variable. Probably won't have this class, but we'll remove it anyway, because I don't know what it does if you put 2. Maybe it makes yellow. Probably not. So yeah, see, that's saving all of these things here as well each time we submit. Let's let's make it return an error just so we can actually be sure that's working. So inside preview accepts get and post. Inside post, we do some stuff. We return. What if we just fake return an error instead? How do you do the status though? Didn't work, but that's because it still returned successful. So I guess in this case we would need to put our handling inside of success, not inside of error. Only if this was returning a status code of something other than 200. Flask return status code. Response status code as a tuple. It's easy enough. So if we did like, what's the teapot? HTTP status code. 418. 418. Didn't actually work. It's got a 418. I'm a teapot, but it didn't call my. Did it not call error? It seemed like it called error. Is this? I don't think this executed. For one thing too, we should also turn off the is loading. Probably make a variable from this too. I like underscores. Where did I copy the first one from? Why did these not get found? Oh, because of the... Take off loading, but it's still not actually calling this, so we need to figure that out. jQuery Ajax error handler. For response text. I think maybe we have the wrong name. Done? Dot done? Maybe we should be doing the function? Dot done. Fail. On post. Now it's not even going. We have broken it all the way. Doesn't... Something else is broken. Build button, I guess? We did build button messed up? Fine. Quick listener? This output text. Form 220? Oh. Okay. It did go inside of here. But it didn't... We want response JSON. Is it a function? Object. This. There we go. Fake error for testing. Was error. Oh, it didn't remove properly the is loading. It says output text again. That get messed up. Okay. Let's scoot everything down. I kinda wish it had height. I wish it had height before we put stuff in it. If we make it space, will it? Will it, no. HTML, CSS, empty p, occupy, give it empty space. Make it block, non-blanking space. Ironic. Is it ampersand? Yeah. Okay. I've reloaded the page a million times. It's not reloading the doesn't keep that stuff. It would actually kind of be nice if it did. We could go back and grab the one from here and we could reload it and it would have that stuff. But the crux of it is that those things are not on the page when it's first created. They get added when you add them or when you load. I am gonna delete a bunch of these to get them back out of there. Grab the test data again. I'm gonna refresh without all the stuff in it. Open this thing. I'm gonna put that back in, import. So now these actually do have the article paragraphs. We're gonna build preview is here already. Yeah, we just don't have the pull right. There should be an image. What happened to the image? Because there's like pull right image URL. The link where it goes when you click the image, the alt text that it has if the image can't be shown. Okay. Loop over the paragraphs. Each one is p, put paragraph. If loop index equals 0, then it should be making this, which contains the image. But it's never equaling 0? Does it start on 1? Best guess is that it starts on 1. Let's make a extra little p in here with the loop index on it so we can see what it comes out as. Starts on 1. Fair enough. You get rid of this again. Okay, now it pulls right, and it goes after whichever number it is set here. We want to put this as part of the template. So we're going to add to the form. We are going to make a new field called article right image paragraphs before, paragraph count, paragraph before. Where's the form? It's folded somewhere. There it is. Article right image. Start splitting these up a little bit as well, so it's like article stuff together. And label, we want article right image offset, p offset, like it's how many paragraphs down the image will be. Seems all right. I'm just using the labels to be the exact same as the IDs. And then what we're gonna say is back into our template, instead of loop index equals 1, we're gonna say that ID that we just put in. Whoops. This one, it will get passed into here. So we'll say if it equals that number, then we want to put the image. So now we should be able to, I'm gonna hard refresh. Let's have the, oh, this is the oldest one. Does this have articles? It does. Article paragraphs, I mean, I guess. Open this. We should put focus in here when it opens. That way you can paste. What's that in? That's like show panel something, import panel. Yeah. What shows it? Close, open. Okay. focus this. Import text. Import text focus. When you open it though, not when you close it. After you open it, to be specific, you might not be able to focus it. Not showing? Oh, it typed that the first time. Interesting. So technically it's getting focus and then putting our thing into it. We want to like... We want to tell this to stop going. Bubble? Cancel? Cancel bubble? How do you consume it? Prevent default. Honestly, we could do this up here even, maybe, so that it won't type. Basically, I want to use that key to toggle the panel, but I don't want to type that character in when it opens. There we go. Now we're focused in there, so we could paste, except I don't have my thing pasted anymore. Copied anymore. There we go. Got all of those. We should have the article image offset, which is not in my data yet, which is why it didn't get loaded. Let's put it, so 1 we know would put it after the first paragraph. Let's put it as 2 to make sure that it moves down some. And then build, and then look at the preview. Did not work. Not work. Maybe it's a string when it comes in? Probably a string instead of a number. It's the string too. I don't know. Can we... I don't think I can just call string, but maybe. What is... This is Jinja to template convert string to number. Vice versa. Can I make it a number? I mean, it is a number. What if I do type number on that input back there? If it actually is a number. Oh, it has these arrows too. And it... Oh, I was gonna say it won't let me type this stuff, but it does. Still didn't work. Still a number, or I mean a string. I have a feeling if I could make that into a number, it would work. So let's look at where we build the data. Maybe we can convert it to a number. Build data. So for each input, we do this. We could maybe say if per input dot adder type equals number, and do it this way, else do it the way we had. Will be go int like this. No, parse int, right? Parse. I don't know if that will be mad. Will it return undefined or something? I don't know what it will do on the ones that don't have it. Also don't know which one of these is my last good one, because the thing is I don't want one with the number in it, the offset. We want to load one without. So maybe it would still work. Oh, actually, still work. Still did not work. Null now. Okay, so we're getting closer. Well, not really, it's farther away, but it changed, which is good. Parse int, it came to null for some reason. Parse int. I didn't type anything in. Seems fair. Seems fair. Yeah. Could also listen for enter key on that thing. Maybe. I think so. Put the number this time. Put an actual number. Build. Thus. There we are. After the second paragraph, it popped in. And in the data now, it's probably a number. Why it worked. Yeah. So we could change the number down. Build again. Fresh, and now it scoots up. I don't know if we need to support 0. I think it's more likely that there would always be a paragraph above it, so I'm going to leave it like that for now. Okay, what do we want to do next? Middle section, I think. Live events. So there's a couple of loops that we haven't filled in yet. In fact, article paragraphs is the only loop that is handled. When I say loop, I mean one of these fields where you can add X number of things. But in the data, we also have this highlights from the IO, which is also a loop, and each one has 4 things. So we're basically going to need a little block that has 4 inputs. Like, we need this kind of thing, but it's going to have 4 inputs instead of a text area. It does have a paragraph, actually, still, though, which we want to be the text area. Okay, so let's make a highlights from IO clonable block thing. I'm going to start by copying this one. We're going to say this is IO highlight block clone. IO highlight block. Column is hidden 11. Yes, because we still want the delete button off to the side there. And we probably will need a different delete function. I'm guessing that we'll need a different delete function. Maybe not, I don't know. So instead of a text area, though, we're actually going to have some other things. We want for, I guess we could go 3 inputs in the text area. So URL title and an image URL. And I guess we're gonna put this thing as a class. It says quite confidently. Keep them in the same order as well. Although I'm gonna paste this and then copy this. It's there. Okay. Now we need the add button for it. And the label. One of these. Where do we want that? That's gonna be before the hack chat stuff. Yeah, goes before hack chat stuff. Go about right here. Pretty much do another one of these numbers. This will be IO highlights. But it will have the more proper name here. Add paragraph, that will be add IO highlight. We will need to gonna want something like this actually. We could probably make this more generic somehow to where our 3 for looped things maybe could share these functions instead of having copy paste. But I think copy paste is going to be easier, and we only have 3. So we might spend more time making it dynamic just to get to 3 than we could brute force by copy pasting up to 3. That's the way we're going to go. Add IO highlight. It's not a paragraph. Cloned IO highlight. So look up this thing, clone it, put it inside here, remove the ID from it. So it has an ID so that we can look it up, but we don't want it to have an ID because we're duplicating it. Remove the ID, remove the isHidden class. We want to add it back to this div that its add button is inside of, which is this. That thing back in there. We also return it, which was useful for something, but I forgot what right now. I think we wanted to put some text into it. Oh, I know what it was. When we're loading from JSON, having this thing returned allowed us to populate data into it. We will want for this new stuff. Yeah, what does this work like? I'm gonna super refresh. Okay, there's our highlights. Add did not work. Do we got console log or just nothing? Nothing. Okay, let's see. We probably have add IO highlight button. Oh, right. So we made this, but we don't have the click listener. Way back up here. That. In fact, we don't need that here either. We do not want to call paragraph, though. We do want to call this one instead. Now maybe we can do something. Boom. There we go. Okay. Not looking great because we did not put classes on our inputs. Input. Input. That looks a little better. Since there's 4 of them, like, these ones differentiate themselves very easily because it's a big block and there's only one thing. This, like, runs together, right? The delete button is here, but it would be nice to have something more in between. Let's put a label in there as well. There we go. That breaks it up some. So now there's a label at the top of each one. I do notice the text area here has no padding below it. Probably because this. Probably not the best way to do that. Okay. If we were to fill these in, it would not work because inside of our build function, we need to make logic to put this into the data structure. That is looping inputs, so that we're gonna need to not do, actually. So I was getting away with this before because we were looping inputs that are like all of our inputs we wanted to be looping at the base level. And then I started looping the article paragraphs here. Problem is, this is gonna also trigger on our ones inside of our highlights clones, which we don't want. We need to filter those out and do them separately. We could like check the parent or something, right? Because these are inside of this. We could like, so the clones are getting put like right in here basically. We could check the parent to see if they're inside of this. Might work. But we'd have to do not again for our third. We'll end up having to do not again for our third looped data. Maybe it's not so bad. We would say right now we're just doing all inputs, but we would go not the parent that we want to filter out, then input, which is it was IO highlight. Yes, IO highlights. Class though. We're not like direct children though. Does that matter? We don't have load. Should we work on the load logic? Not yet, I think. Work on our build logic. So yeah, it didn't load here, but we're gonna add oh, we don't have labels on these. Oh. So I'm shouldn't be putting the key in that, it should be this. Hey. Okay. We don't have any extra weird, I mean, we have undefined. It's not the best, I suppose. We have a nan also on our number that we didn't fill in. That's actually probably, that might be our problem. That the nan might have been what did us in. We don't have the new stuff though, which is actually good because we tried to filter them out. That means I think that our not worked, so we could do another kind of thing like this where we're gonna loop inputs, but this time we actually are gonna loop. No, we're not gonna loop inputs. We're gonna loop whatever the parent of this is. Oh, doesn't have a parent. Does it? It does. IO highlight. We want to loop over IO highlight block. This. This is my copied thing. We want to loop over these. We don't need any knots. Not gonna do knots. Not an input anymore. It's a IO block. So all of this stuff is gonna be different. I want to print that by itself. Where the jQuery of it? Yeah, it is going to be a pain to copy that in every time. We should totally make loading work. All right, when we're importing, this says type is string, and so these other ones are lists. We're currently catching the article paragraphs list here. We're gonna make a new one of these. If key is IO this highlights. We want to do something pretty similar to this. Loop over all of the things inside of here. This is where returning that element at the end of that thing is helpful. We return this, and then it's finding, in this case, it's finding the text area, which we could use to set the value of the IO item paragraph. But we're actually going to want to find the other inputs as well. And okay, we have these classes on them. That's how we're going to find the other ones. New block, find. Find the title, set it to the title, and find the image URL, set it to the image URL. All right, let's see if our loading works. Yeah, there we go. And we got all that stuff loaded up. I do want labels on each of those. Maybe we should... Would that help instead of IO highlight? We have a horizontal rule. If there was a horizontal rule, that might be nice. Just a bar across. Spider. Level. Yeah, what is this bar? Just have a border bottom or something? We could use border bottom. Let's not do IO highlight. Instead, let's do labels for each input. So this will be the... We're going to put the exact name. IO item URL. That's going to be title. That's going to be paragraph, which is not on there. Whoa. It's going to be image URL. F is this. Okay, there we go. IO item URL. Yeah, the divider would be sweet. So maybe we could just go at the like margin bottom on this. Easy enough. What's wrong with that? Not supposed to do that stuff? Oh, I don't want margin bottom, though. I want border. Wait, what's the one that's better than border? It's, outline? Outline? Doesn't exist. Okay, well, we'll just do border. Not sure. I'm guessing the black should invert, I think. Yeah, inverted to be these white bars. Nice, now we have those nice lines in between them. Oh, did mess up the one underneath, though. Could add some extra margin. Padding, either way. We want padding or margin? We want margin because we want it outside the... Yeah, in fact, padding might not help. Still messed it up. Last child from this. Override this. That's not the right way. Valid property value. How do you do important inside here? Mission point first. That makes any sense. There we go. Okay, not bad. So loading is there. Let's run a build, which I'm just gonna do in here. Our output and see if we have highlights from IO. We'll have undefined. Critical paragraphs. Look like it worked. Well. Okay, so we console logged these. We didn't do anything besides that, though. Actually, that's probably the issue. Console log is it. So we need to find the stuff and put it into the data object. We don't have a number type one to worry about, so we don't need to do this. We're gonna be doing all strings, but okay, basically we want to do this. We want to make a list and put it on our data object. The list's name is this. Buddy, get down. Then for each one of these, we want to append into this list. I'm just going to hard code here. We go data object this, which is our list, and then we push actually, let's just say new highlight object, which we will go new highlight object is an object which has this. Done. Okay, URL we get from right, so this was much easier because we just looped straight through and we got our p text directly, which was our text area basically that represented each paragraph. It's a little harder because we have the block. We actually need to find on our block the things we care about. So we'll go cur IO block. Good. Just do find the thing with this. Should be just the classes, I think, right? Buddy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we should be adding that stuff to the data object. Hard refresh, let's load our data. Fill in a number, which I've been failing to do several times. You have all of that stuff. Hopefully filling in the number will fix that undefined one. IO block.find is not a function. I guess it's not a... It's not a jQuery object? Length 1. It's 0? Get the first item in the list. We're gonna do build here. It failed though. Our error thing doesn't work. Block 0 is undefined. Child nodes. Object 0. I mean, object 0 is right there. Is that not what we printed? Printed jQuery of it. But then we tried to access not jQuery of it. I see, okay. I guess. Very like this. Don't actually need this, I don't think. And we go again. Let's do here, I guess. Need to put my number into here so that I can stop filling it in. Okay, it didn't crash. It did print 4 things. Does have highlights from the IO, which is an array with 4 things. I don't know if those worked or not, I guess. Doesn't look like it, right? It should be strings. Why did that open over there? That undefined thing did not make it to here, which is good. This is not the newest one. Right, we need to do build here, I guess. Undefined did make it in. We do have this now. Okay, yeah, that's totally jacked. Weird. Find. Foul. That's looking better, but there's no paragraphs. Maybe I didn't put the paragraph on the text area as being lazy. Doesn't have paragraphs. I want to put my number though. It was null. I'm gonna put it in here as 1. That way when we load from this, we actually get it filled in. Because it works. Because it's type number. That's looking on type string. There we go. Okay. We have 1 extra 1 for some reason. But beyond that, it's looking good. Supposed to have 3. For some reason we ended up with 4 and the last one is empty. Does it add 4 when we load? No, it only has 3. Oh. Right. It's finding the duplicator one. Probably, does the paragraphs have the same problem? It does not, but I don't know why. Probably should. Thing is, this is finding the duplicator one. Looks better. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it there. Go find some dinner. What's that? What does this thing say? About an hour and a half almost. Yeah. I'm gonna head out and get something to eat. Thanks for watching along. I know I kind of just blew through that. I didn't explain too much of it, but hopefully that was interesting insight into this other project, which is a bit different from what I normally work on. So if you are interested in this, you can hit me up on Discord or Twitch or somewhere. Let me know that you're interested in this. Maybe I'll pop back on and stream it again sometime. We shall see. Got a little bit of work still to do, so yeah. That's going to do it for now. Hope everybody has a good night. I will see you all later.